Hi, I'm Ryan Watkins, host today. We are in South Texas at Choke Canyon Reservoir. It is a big lake, it's got big bass, and today that is what we're targeting. Let's Fish TV is on the air right now.
Oh my gosh. Oh, check that out.
It's time for the only program that brings you real-time fishing reports from the Southwest region every week.
Cobia, big one. And a monster. Look at that. That's a Tawakoni giant.
This is Let's Fish.
Welcome to Choke Canyon, Texas. It's in South Texas, about an hour south of San Antonio, Texas. This lake has got some big bass, and that's what we're gonna go after today. It's also a great crappie lake, so we may switch it up. We're gonna see how the day plays out. It's the middle of summer, anything can happen. We're gonna keep an open mind, and we're gonna get after it. During the show, we will bring you your local fishing report from your region from our inside reporters. We're gonna get this boat launched. While I do, let's get started back in studio with your weekend planning.
Hi everybody, these Salooner tables are predicting fair game fish activity Saturday and good on Sunday. Peak daytime activity begins at 9:41 on Saturday and 10:48 Sunday afternoon. The best evening action will begin around 10:23 on Saturday and 11:28 on Sunday night. Depending on your local area, you can expect the sun to rise around 6:41 and set at 8:30, and evenings will feature a moon that's 86% visible. Stay with us, we've got fishing reports from across the area on the way. Plus, I'll return with 2021 and 2022 Bass Pro Tour Angler of the Year Jacob Wheeler to answer this week's Ask the Pro question.
We got the boat launched and we are on beautiful Choke Canyon Lake in South Texas. It's the middle of summer. It's hot, guys. I ain't gonna lie, it's over 100 degrees a day. We don't have a ton of wind. It's not ideal conditions. I tend to prefer a little bit more wind. Helps really push that water around, helps position bait, but we're not gonna have that, so we're gonna throw the kitchen sink at them. We're gonna investigate all types of structures. We're gonna look at grass. We're gonna look at rock. We're probably gonna look at some hardwoods. We're gonna look shallow, we're gonna look deep. This time of year, that's what it takes. We're gonna get to fish how I like to fish. We're gonna throw crankbaits. We're gonna throw swim jigs, structure bugs. We're gonna throw some Strike King rage bugs. We're gonna Carolina rig. We're gonna drop shot. We're gonna cover all types of techniques today. Your structure is visible, it's shallow, and it's really high percentage target. You know, visible targets are a lot easier to fish versus fishing a structure you can't see. So that's why I like fishing shallow first thing in the mornings. And plus, when you got bait up here, as long as you got bait up shallow in the summertime, there's always gonna be an opportunity to catch a big one up shallow. And when you're fishing a lake that's prone to catching big ones, you want to go do things, you know, like throwing a big topwater or a big swim bait. You want to give yourself the chance to get one of those big bites. And big fish are notorious for wanting easy big meals. There we go, guys. There's a first bite of the morning on a topwater here at Choke Canyon. Nice healthy fish here. Tell you what, summertime, this fish is barely hooked. Hopefully we'll land her. She got one hook in her. She's got me around the stick up. There she goes. Boat flipper here real quick. Definitely not what we're after out here, guys, but on Choke Canyon, man, this lake has got, that could have went south, but it didn't. Choke Canyon has got some giant bass in it, guys. And what I like to do in the summer, I always like to start out throwing a topwater. Visible targets, and as long as we've got bait up shallow, you're gonna have a really good opportunity at catching one of those giant fish. Big bass like big baits. They like big meals, they like easy meals. Topwater is a great way of representing that and giving them the chance to make an explosion, come up and get an easy meal. So we're gonna get back at it, see if we can't get a big one.
Hi everybody and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, now brought to you by the new Psionics Nightwave Night Vision Camera for your boat. That's right, it has IP67 waterproofing so you can put it right on the boat. It will show you full color night vision as you travel across the lake, helping to keep you safe. See more at night with Psionics. Now this week we're going to start here on Lake Ray Hubbard. We're going to catch some sand bass. What we're going to do is hit various points and flats looking for some schooling fish. Now of course if they're schooling on top, we're going to throw a top water, something like a headin' or a tiny torpedo. Who knows? We'll just throw some top waters at them and see what happens. But we're also going to keep a slab handy for when they drop down below the surface so we can reach out there and get some of those deeper fish as well. And we're going to keep the binoculars handy because while I'm fishing right here, they could start schooling over there. And I want to see that so I can go over there and get in on the action. Now over at Hubbard Creek, that lake has dropped 9 feet since last year. It used to have a lot of hydrilla and the fishing was pretty easy. It's gotten a little tougher with the lower water. The hydrilla is not present, so you're going to need to look for structure. Look for offshore humps and rock piles and things such as that, where you can throw baits like a deep diving crankbait or an A-rig or even a chatterbait in a 1/2 ounce to 3/4 ounce size. Let it sink down to the level of the rocks and bring it across the top. You'll catch those Hubbard Creek bass. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes. Check us out on Facebook, Lone Star Lakes.
You know, for those of y'all that don't know a lot about Choke Canyon, or maybe you've heard about it, it's not a pleasure lake. It's a fishing only lake, guys. This place has monster gators, and we got one about 10 or 11 foot laying right here on bottom. You can make out his outline right here. Now he's probably gonna spook when this trolling motor goes by. There he goes. Right under the boat. That's why you don't want to swim out here, guys. But as far as a fishing lake, absolutely fantastic. There we go, guys. Small one here. There's small fish on the top water. Tell you what, guys, this may not be the fish that we're after, but I want to tell y'all a little bit about what I look for when I'm throwing these top waters early in the morning in the summertime. Go ahead and get this fish back in there. Come on, buddy. There you go. So guys, when you're looking for pockets on some of these lowland reservoirs in South Texas, you want to find the drains that are the deepest, okay? Deepest drain in the pocket is always going to hold the most fish. That drain's like a highway, and as the sun gets up and it gets hotter, water temperature's warm, those fish are going to transition off of those deep edges, and they're going to use that drain to get in and out. So look for the drains, look for the deepest drains in your pockets. That's where you want to start off in South Texas lakes in the summer.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Visit Mississippi. Wanderers welcome. Powerful. Total Boat Control. Balls Out. Made in the USA. Heavy duty mounts for your fish finders. Rely on. Challenge your limits.
Try to get in these areas where I know they're going to sit and I kind of get a bait in front of them. There's another one. Feels like a decent fish. Oh yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that one. Nice, healthy Choke Canyon bass right there. The fish was in about 14 foot of water on the rocks. Caught her on a little hard head with a Strike King Rage Bug, green pumpkin watermelon. boat. Finally got on this little wind-blown point over here. When it's hot like this in the dog days of summer, guys, you want to put every single factor in your favor that you can. We got a point, we got a river bend that comes right up next to it. The wind's blowing some shad across it, and we're just throwing a little 1/2 ounce white swim jig. Boy, she ate it too. So, moral of the story, fishing's tough. It's over 100 degrees today. It's blowing about 18 to 20 miles an hour. Put the favors in your order. Wind, bait, that's what you need. 1/2 ounce white swim jig. Little 1/2 ounce white swim jig. Just a shad imitation bait, and we're just steadily reeling it. We got a little inside grass line on the back side of this point where the wind's blowing the shad over it, and those fish will just sit up there and kind of wait and ambush that bait. Real high percentage spot, and when the bite's tough, that's what I like to do. I like to try to get in these areas where I know they're gonna sit and I can kind of get a bait in front of them. There's another one. Another little one. She spit it. But as you can see, there's a little group of them in here. Little group of them, and I think it's about 1 o'clock. So we had a full moon last night, and a lot of times that moonset minor, about 1:30, 2:30, they'll start to fire off. Had another one thump it right there. Y'all hang tight, we're gonna be right back. I think we're gonna get a couple more bites in here.
Hey friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here with this week's Let's Fish Report, coming to you from Cajun Paradise right here in Hackberry, Louisiana. We're going to start off talking about Calcasieu Lake. I tell you what, summertime heat, it's brutal. When we get the west wind, southwest wind, it does slow our fishing down a little bit, but there's still good catches being caught. Some nice trout, live shrimp, live finger mullet on the channel edges, fishing right in anywhere from 8 to 14 feet of water, find that little cooler water. We are catching a few big bull reds. I say bulls, they're anywhere from about 28 to about 36 inches. Releasing most of those, but I tell you what, they'll tighten that string up for you. On the freshwater side of things, up at Toledo Bend, on the full moon, just after the full moon, got lots of good reports, people doing very well. Everything from up shallow, throwing buzz baits and spinner baits, to actually fishing deep on humps and ridges, throwing big old plastic worms at night for those lunker bass. For Old Cajun Phil, Captain Kevin Broussard saying, happy fishing, may God bless, and let's fish. See you next week.
There's another one, guys. Just a little keeper fish on that white swim jig again. And once again, as y'all can see behind me, we got a grass line, and we're just paralleling this grass line on a windblown shoreline. Got some bait pushed up on it. This time of year, guys, you know, in the springtime, they will really feed heavy on bluegill. Summertime turns into a shad pattern. That's why I like to throw shad imitating baits. I like to fish fast. I like to fish for the most aggressive fish first. That's why I usually approach days with a reaction strike bait, like a swim jig or a crankbait. When the bite gets tough, I'll slow down and try to entice someone that way. But when you've got wind and you've got bait, I like to fish fast, and that's how we're catching them. Earlier this morning, you know, we started out with a top water, didn't get a lot of strikes. Then we went deep, which is what we typically do out here, fish some rock piles, caught a few fish. One thing I'll tell you guys, man, when you're bass fishing, I don't care where you're at in the country, don't go out with a game plan set in stone. It's gonna change, guys. It's gonna change 9 times out of 10. Stumps all over this lake. So we got up shallow, which is non-typical for the summertime when it's over 100 degrees. But some fish pulled up because we had a full moon and we got a moon set and the feed about 1:30, 2:30 o'clock. So we pulled up here shallow, and all these fish are starting to relate to a hard grass edge. Now, a lot of times you'll hear people talk about clumps of grass, isolated pieces of structure. They get on that a lot, guys, but don't discount those 30, 40, 50-yard stretches where it creates a hard edge. When the wind starts blowing, that bait will funnel up against that grass edge and those fish will just parallel it going up and down. That's what we're keying on right now. We're switching everything up. We'll be right back. Hopefully we can catch a good one for you guys.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Lose, Feel the Difference, Mamba Boats, Ride with Pride, Strike King, Taiwan On, Fishing Specialties, makers of the premier mount assembly for live sonar.
I love to bass fish, but there's nothing funner than catching these crappie. They are an absolute blast. There's one. That right there, boys and girls, is a Choke Canyon crappie. You know, Choke Canyon primarily is known for a big bass lake, but it is a fantastic crappie lake. Today it's about 104 degrees, and we'll get this fish back in the water. There we go. There's one. Oh, that's a nice crappie right there, guys. That's a good Choke Canyon crappie. That's what they call a slab, boys and girls. You know, Choke Canyon is so diverse. We decided we'd come out here and kind of show y'all what all it has to offer. These are fantastic to eat, guys. I'm sure a lot of you know about crappie and how well they are to eat. If you don't, you need to get out here and get you some, because they are absolutely unreal. There's another one. That's another crappie. Good crappie too. Man, I tell you what, I love to bass fish, but there's nothing funner than catching these crappie. They are an absolute blast. Guys, if you want to come out here and do this, I'm going to tell you the key. In the summertime, you want to look for brush piles, 16, 18 foot of water. If you got bait around it, it's a plus, okay? But the trick is we're using forward-facing sonar. We're staying off the pile about 5 to 10 foot. You want to pitch your bait or your minnow about 5, 6 foot past the pile, bring it up to the pile. A lot of times they want to sit in the top. You want to keep that bait right above their heads. Do that and you will fill the boat.
Alright guys, Captain Death around here and Wade is in charge of this week's fishing. As y'all can see, we're out here snapping fish and the weather is freaking beautiful day. Past few days. Got lots of nice fish back here. Got another one hooked up right there. The weather this week has just been beautiful. It's been slick, glass, calm the past few days. The jetty fishing has been pretty good. We actually had a hammerhead the other day that came up and ate about a 6 foot black-tip shark. They've been catching lots of trout too, along the rods too. That's it for this week. Guys, remember if you want to come fish down here in Galveston, Texas, give us a call, Wade in charge.
There we go. That feels like a bass. Feels like a good bass too. Man, we're out here on Choke Canyon. That's a good bass right there. He hit that drop shot. Well, I tell y'all what, we've had a pretty tough day. We've really had to throw the kitchen sink at them. Fish have not been biting really well. You know, it's over 100 degrees, slick calm, and a lot of times what you gotta do is you just gotta downsize. So we went to 12-pound test line and a little drop shot. Well, I tell you what, downsizing really helps, guys. Play this fish nice and easy. There we go. There we go. Oh, that's a little better. Now that's more standard for Choke Canyon. That's what we're looking for, guys. Big key, guys. slow down, size down. It helps immensely when you're fishing pressured fish hot summer days. That is today's #1 tip. Let's get this fish back in the water.
Watch our latest episode or catch up on past episodes on our website at letsfishtv.com. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter for new fishing videos every day. And download the free Waypoint TV app to get all the latest episodes every week on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Mercury, Go Boldly, Lowrance, the ultimate fishing system, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, Alabama. Plan or book your fishing charter at orangebeach.com. Motor Guides Tour Pro with GPS anchor, powered by Passion. Glacier Outdoor, outdoors since 1982.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's get right on over to your Ask the Pro question for this week. Carter would like to know, what is your method of dealing with disappointment? For an answer, we asked 2021 and 2022 Bass Pro Tour Angler of the Year, Jacob Wheeler.
Hey guys, I'm Jacob Wheeler, and my question is, how do I deal with disappointments on the water? This is the thing, adversity and BLATS is the best is dope. This is the thing, I love, it just sort of makes the story better. I sort of look at that as a challenge. So if it's raining outside, if it's windy, you have to adjust. Yeah, it might be your spot got trashed or the water's muddy because of the rain last night. You have to make those adjustments, and it just adds to the story. So I just sort of feel like it's Mother Nature challenging me. Or if I lose a big fish, that stinks. It does stink, but you look at things, and sometimes in fishing you almost overthink things. And to me, you got to keep going. You got to keep your head up and keep grinding, working hard. Work ethic is also, I learn more from the tournament I get my butt kicked than one of the tournaments I win or have a high finish. So that's always something that I feel like adversity helps me become a better angler, and I feel like you have to use that as a positive.
Thanks so much, Jacob. If you want some help too from one of the pros, simply go to letsfishtv.com and follow that Ask the Pro link to submit a question.
Here's today's Right Stuff, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Hey guys, welcome back. I want to take a quick minute and just kind of walk y'all through my setup and what I like to use when I'm crappie fishing or if I'm bass fishing drop shotting. I like a spinning rod combo. This is a Lew's custom spinning reel, 6:2-to-1 gear ratio. I pair that with a 7.2 medium moderate action rod. Really important to have a moderate action rod because we're throwing light line most of the time. Now on this one, I've got it spooled up with 40-pound braid and a 12-pound fluorocarbon leader. If you're in clear water, you can break that down and you can go to a lighter line on your main reel. You can go to a 20-pound braid and an 8-pound leader. Out here at Choke, a lot of our water is off color, so we don't really have to worry about line size. It doesn't really affect our bite too much. But that's what I prefer. That's what I like to use. This is one bait out here that I have a lot of success with. This is a structure jointed head with a Strike King Rage Bug. This color is a green pumpkin watermelon. Kind of a standard color out here. I don't get too crazy with colors. It's a really good go-to color. Anytime you're in doubt about color, watermelon, green pumpkin, two great choices you can make. This bait is designed to get down into structure, and out here we fish a lot of rock. That's the primary structure in the summertime that those bass really like to get in. Now, as far as rod, reel, line size, I'm real big on getting fish out of structure. Okay, I don't like to play around with them. 7.4 medium heavy, 7.4 heavy. Those are the two sticks that I put it on. 20-pound fluorocarbon, and I like a fast gear ratio reel. You know, a 7.2 or an 8-to-1 gear ratio reel are my choices. That's what works for me. That's what I prefer. Next time you're out on the water, give it a try. Hope you have some success. I hope you learned something today. We'll be back next week. Thanks for tuning in.